Cleveland, Ohio, 35 years, and leave my heart and a good part of my...
I sat in a local bar in Tampa on some November day in 1995 and watched a special news conference featuring the owner of the Cleveland Browns and the governor of Maryland, Paris Glendening.
I'm deeply, deeply sorry from the bottom of my
Everybody is looking at me, waiting for my response. They know me. I'm from Cleveland, a Browns fan, and they're waiting for my response. I just leave. How can you respond when witnessing something that touches her like a death, but you can't give it that much importance because it's only a football team? But you're still feeling something's missing. But it's only a football team. But you're sad, and even more, you're mad. Because it's not only a football team. It's the Browns. A community of frenzied, kindred spirits from roughly the same patch of America, focused on having a good time watching the Browns play football. It's an honor to be a Browns fan. Cradle of football country, we've got no logo, we're not named after an industry or an animal. A couple of our team heroes were named Brown. A winning tradition, and even when they didn't win, all of that last-minute magic and heartbreak. It isn't normal to have teams take it to the edge like the Browns always seemed to do. And here we were, the fans, watching it run to the edge for the last time and experiencing that same feeling when we had Ernest Never mind that. The fans were witnessing the strong-armed robbery of a civic trust that we knew we treasured much more than Baltimore's new most popular citizen. The city got mad.
This all started because Art Modell lied to the people of Cleveland about his true intentions.
No team, no peace! No team, no peace!
And the Browns fans got mad.
But those economic losses pale compared to the emotional, suffered by generations of diehard, now devastated fans.
It's a big chunk of my life, and I think that's why I feel that it's almost like my best friend laying in the hospital there. I actually started to cry.
We'll go to hell, Modell.
Such raw emotion has since turned to protest and outrage, all aimed at Modell.
26 years season's ticket holder. I'm gonna cut my seat out. You got it, man. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
A potentially hostile environment. Things got rowdy late in the fourth quarter as fans began tearing apart the bleachers and throwing them onto the field.
This is quite a scene as the players continue to walk up in front of the dog pound. They just want to hold on to the memories, see some.
Idealistic hope gave way to cold fact. The Browns were leaving. Fans were left bewildered and angered. And so were the players. The move offered them a new perspective.
And if it would have happened a few years earlier, it would have ended that way. But Browns fans don't all live in Cleveland.
Rally yesterday in Baltimore by Browns backers.
Fans are very unique people, and what else can I say? You know,
hard to imagine it's all over.
Yes, I don't think it's going to be over though. I think we're going to keep it somewhere along the line.
It's kind of a touchstone that everybody unites around, and that's what's being yanked out. It's just literally pulling out the roots of millions of people.
You lose your sense of loyalty, and you lose. I don't even have a team now. I mean, I can't even watch this game. I'm having a hard time watching the game.
How are the Browns backers fans reacting in Baltimore?
Well, the Browns backers themselves are very upset. The Cleveland Browns represent home to most of the people in my club, and you just can't move home. You can't bring home to Baltimore or Jacksonville or anywhere.
So they're not.
And now, the ones that were the angriest, the ones that wanted to do something about it, they could all mob together online. A few internet groups had already formed by the time the '94 season had come. That's the year that team hero Bernie Kosar got cut by the harbinger of doom, Coach Bill Belichick. I remembered reading game reviews and team news by outstanding writers who, as far as I knew, were doing it for fun. Others discussed different stuff about the Browns and Browns games and Browns bars. when the bombastic heist of our beloved Browns was pulled off right in front of us. The city of Cleveland burst into action, but more importantly, Browns fans went to war. The Save Our Browns campaign, although headquartered in Cleveland, had its strength in the unseen masses online. The first battle was for the heritage of the team. We weren't sure that we could stop Modell from moving a team he owned, but seeing as how the name of the Browns was inexorably linked to the name of the city of Cleveland, well, we had a few good legal minds online that just happened to be Browns fans. The city listened, and Mike White, the mayor, and the city council held up a big, juicy lawsuit in the NFL's face. The ultimatum: Cleveland keeps the name, the colors, and the history of the Browns as a trust to be handed to the next NFL franchise that would be placed here in Cleveland.
The tax referendum on the stadium repairs. This is a sophisticated operation.
We are on the internet.
Meanwhile, behind the front lines, the internet fact jihad had begun. It was comprised of many individuals with differing tastes, and it was centered around an internet mailing list that would eventually become known as the Browns Fans Worldwide Network. Our first action was to close down all NFL fax machines and internet mailboxes. A continuous, timed assault in teams sent messages through special websites.
They'll be able to contact every congressman, every senator, all the people in Maryland, literally the Baltimore mayor, the Baltimore City Council, every NBC, CBS, ABC affiliate, all the Fox affiliates, independents all over the country.
America Online already has a special section for
Success was ours. We smoked what little resistance was put forth with sheer volume.
Just A guy trying to make a wise business decision.
You know, not only have we seen the public show support, Bob, but we have seen faxes, 400 to 500 sent to each and every owner, to the point where Bolin said he had to change around his fax line just so he can get his normal business done. He tells me to send the message to the Cleveland Browns fans. They get the message. And for the first time, Bob, I think it has really struck a moral nerve among the owners.
Also gone to Washington.
We gave a face to the protests, running a funeral march outside of the Capitol building and making Congress take up the issue of team relocation as a violation of civic trust.
A sports topic and an issue with just one popular side created a congressional media event.
I'm glad to hear we have 800 loyal members of them dogs in the dog pound in South Carolina also.
The North and the South have gotten together.
All right.
We also showed up en masse at NBC affiliates across the U.S. during the big NFL show, the Super Bowl.
Converged on NBC stations from Los Angeles to Cleveland.
We need to keep our case in front of the national press because it's been easy to have it shuffled aside and people aren't paying attention to it. If we don't keep this issue going, even though we've declared a temporary ceasefire with the owners, we think that they'll feel that the pressure's off.
This is an NFL nominated to help going. They haven't gone. We've kept them in Cleveland, and we've kept them. And I thank you for everything. Thank you. Thank you.
This is a good and fair settlement. It is a settlement that achieves our goals. It keeps our team in Cleveland. It keeps our name in Cleveland. It keeps our colors in Cleveland. I think as the commission...
Unbelievable. No one thought it could be done except us. We were like the voice of every fan now, and the Cleveland Browns won their biggest game ever against Art Modell and status quo.
Baltimore will get a team, but the Browns' name and the history stays in Cleveland. The record set by people like Otto Graham and Jim Brown will be preserved as part of the Cleveland Browns' heritage. The heritage indeed belongs to the Browns, to the fans, and the new team that will be promised to them by 1990.
Lots of folks dropped off after that. The most important victory had already been won. But most of us knew that if the NFL had their way, they'd stick us with some carpet-bagging bum like the Cardinals Bidwell. Well, we wanted our own team, reborn, in the form of an expansion team. So we kept it up. More faxes, more emails, more banners flown everywhere, more protests at NFL events to yell for expansion. The Hall of Fame rally when Steeler Mike Webster was inducted was most memorable. 500 orange and brown balloons and a freak thunder shower, with a plane flying our expansion demands overhead, with Cleveland spelled wrong.
Why did they spell Cleveland wrong? The rain is going to make them not go up in the air. They're not going to go up.
They're going up. They're just going up real slow.
Yeah, they'll go.
We marched anyway. You can imagine the Pittsburgh fans were oh so kind. But you know what? Those NFL lackeys and distinguished guests, they saw us, and they knew we'd be back every year if they didn't do what we demanded. During every meeting, the NFL saw us, the Browns Fans Worldwide Network, and our handiwork in the form of gifts and protests and, at times, friendly reminders. At this posh Orlando hotel, we initiated Operation Mickey Mouse. We marched our final march for expansion.
We've passed the security guards, we've got by them, and now we are walking to the hotel.
Fans, take a stand. Tell the league they must expand. Fans, take a stand. Tell the league they must expand. Cleveland Browns.
The officer is now leaving the car.
Sir,
Officer,
I'm
we
asking you.
are on their property.
Yes, but there's a
Here we go.
The NFL owners couldn't even get to their meeting without seeing us. Then, the BFWWN's most determined waited across the street.
Yes, sir. There you go, Mike.
And victory was ours. Of course, not many know about the jihad for Cleveland football, about us fighting for a tradition that was rightfully ours. But one day, when the madness returns, the Browns start winning, and the games are once again watched across America. The feeling of the Cleveland Browns smashing Pittsburgh and Baltimore will be a little sweeter for us. The Browns Fans Worldwide Network.
All this energy calling me back where it comes from. It's such a crude attitude. It's back where it belongs. All the little kids growing up on the skids and go Cleveland.
Art Wardell, say Art.
Jonathan Gene is Moody James Dean's got it.
More people hate you than anybody else.
Musicians in the distance had the
I thought this was the men's room. Wow. Bernie, Kozak. Go wherever you want.
Dan, let's just take a Modell.